be a slow motion.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. So it's
the
possible.
slow motion or the start of the huge Armageddon. In other words, you're really going to go chaos from this because the economic system is going to collapse. We don't know because I'm really just like reading here and there, from the news, etc. And you know that the news that came out from the World Bank says that whatever has been foretold or predicted by economic scientists or economists is probably coming true. So I don't know, and that's why I think a lot of people are in this mode of like questioning what time are we in now. I mean, not at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock time, but what time are we now in the world of the Christianity timeline, which a lot of people could plot differently, right? And because I'm not like I'm not someone who really like goes into the academic study of the Bible, but I do have my own. I did have my own fears. To be really, really honest, I had my own, throughout this. And now it's November. Can you imagine this thing has stretched so long? And it just seems like yesterday that it started. It's like, so many time has either collapsed or stopped, or I know it just disappeared, but you're just going around this cycle like a rat that is going round and round this wheel. You can no more pinpoint what day it is, what time it is, and what time of your life are you at now. I think a lot of people, not just me or yourself in America, but I think all over the world, Christians or non-Christians, followers or not, I think at some point in their mind, they may be thinking, hey, oh my God, something that I thought is going to like go away in 3 months, 2 months. And now the World Health Organization says we are just at a 50% point.
Mm-hmm.
With a vaccine or not, it's been told that the magic wand may not really come true. Even with the vaccine or with the magic wand that some countries are looking forward to, because that's when they think that they can open up the country safely, right? It's for the borders to open up. And that may not even happen. And I think the question is, a lot of people, especially for myself, is this like a slow motion to a huge Armageddon that is going to come? It's like, okay, it's like the shark is coming. It's like dun, the horror movie, right? You're gonna open the door. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this certainly could be to start something like this. That if I personally think the United States, for example, I mean, the United States is if the United States collapses fiscally, the whole world suffers. That's just a reality. And
could you say that again? Could you repeat that?
If the United States collapses financially, the whole world will be greatly affected and will collapse. And I personally think, the world has, the United States is in debt like $22 trillion, and they keep spending like it's monopoly money. And I personally think the United States is on the verge of financial collapse. It's a big balloon. I mean, like a balloon in terms of finances.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is a lot of things. I mean, morally, the United States has gone down a lot of bad paths. And a lot of churches have embraced that, which is wrong. But so what I'm saying is, we certainly have all the ingredients of seeing God's final judgment, and a lot of things are in the right place where, like you said, I could see like that COVID being the first domino, and then the next domino, and it all of a sudden it all starts tearing down.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's certainly possible. I mean, I think regardless, we are living monumentally historic times, for sure.
Yeah, but like what you say, which I do agree, if the end days are going to come, it's going to be like 100 times worse. It's going to be like a 1,000 times worse. We won't even be in the safe part of the world, and neither will we be like doing this Zoom talk, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I mean, we see about the Christians believe it, and the Antichrist will come, and the Antichrist, and this person will unite the world in a one world government. And for us to all agree to that, let's face it, it would have to be something very, very bad for the world to finally unite under one leader. I mean, try that right now.
Okay.
It wouldn't go over very well.
Yeah.
It would have to be a very good reason for us to agree to unite under one leader.
Okay.
So
because there's still a lot of events that need to happen. Yeah, and this is still, if it's going to compare with that, it's usually going to be a really, really long way. So we may not even see that in our lifetime. We don't know.
Might not.
Yeah. Is there anything you would like to share that try to demystify some of these thoughts about your congregation, of people coming to you? Is there something that is like an FAQ, frequently asked question to you?
We've addressed some of them already. I think those are the ones we've talked about are the hot ones. Everybody thinks it's the end of the world or we're all going to die or something. I try to remind people, and this isn't to diminish COVID-19. COVID-19 is very contagious, and it's been, and many have died from it. Millions have died from it. But we have to remember, we have to look at the statistics and be honest about them. The United States media, I don't know about your media, but the United States media often hypes it to be worse than it really is. What I mean is when they first came to the United States, they were saying, 2 million would die from it in the United States, and it's been like 200,000. Far less, but they're still doing that same talk, like we're all going to die from this. I'm not saying that, but really instilling fear. But the reality is, if you're under 70 years old, the infection fatality rate is 0.05%. It can cause long-term lung damage, so that's still a big issue. But the reality is yes, this is a terrible virus, and I personally think it's not going anywhere. I mean, we've had Spanish flu now, which is another virus. We've had that since the 1920s, and we still don't have the vaccines we get are like maybe a 50% success rate, and I don't see this being any different. If we do the vaccine, it's not going to be a foolproof kind of thing. So just like you said, this isn't going anywhere. Are we going to stay locked down and fearful forever? We can't. I don't know. I'm not trying to sound like I'm diminishing this. This is a very big deal, but we can't have our life be controlled by fear. Again, God says, He is not a God of fear. He is calls us to be cautious and to be wise and to not do stupid things and put ourselves at unnecessary risk, but to keep yourself forever locked down in your house or afraid of hugging your family. Or I personally don't want to get to be 70 years old in my final throes of life and know that I spent the last 30 something years living in terror and avoiding people and staying in my house most of the time. So I think I try to encourage people to look at your age group. What is the risk of your age group? And then react accordingly.
Okay.
But
that's
I don't know.
That's rational advice. That's a very and is there anything else that you would like to share I'm reading the Bible every day, and every day I've got new understanding of the Word. Like what I was telling you, before this, for 20 years of my life, uh, as a convert, as a born again Christian, uh, I never took time to read, and even if I did, it was really because for the exams, right? Because I was taking a course of theology, and I was like in church, um, in the service. Is there something that you would like to shout out to the world about anything as a Christian or for a non-believer that you would like to say too?
The most, again, the most important thing is, where are you with what is your relationship with the God, our God, who created the universe? The bottom line is, this is the most important thing. No matter what happens in this earth, no matter what kind of violence and pestilence and plague and viruses come, what matters is the state of your soul, your relationship with Jesus Christ, because the Bible says that that all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, and we're all in. God's standard is perfection, and let's face it, none of us are perfect. We have all sinned, and so God was so loving that He saw that we couldn't save ourselves. We're dead in sin, and so He sent His Son Jesus Christ to die on the cross to take. It's like we're in court, and the judge says, "Stephen, you are guilty," and then I can't pay my fine. I can't pay my, and so but his own son, the judge's own son, comes in the courtroom and says, "I will take Stephen's penalty." And that's what Jesus Christ did. He came, and when He died on the cross, the wrath of God was poured upon Him for what I did and what you did. And so we need to, give our life to Jesus Christ, to trust entirely in Him and what He did on the cross. And then, we're like we said, we're all going to die. If you die from COVID-19, then that's the way you're going to die. But this life is a drop in the bucket to eternity. And so I like to say, whoever's there, where are you? Where is your heart? Have you given your life over to Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?
Thank you so much, Stephen. And I think you have summarized and illuminated what's most important for a follower of Christ. Not to be consumed by fear, but yet check ourselves. How's our relationship, and what's the state of our soul? What's that state of your understanding? For me, being a Baptist myself, being a Christian myself, what's the understanding of the Word? Which is, to me, is very important. How much time am I spending to read the Word? That God talks to me through the Word and not through the media. To me, it's very important that it's a direct communication. The Word, and that persistence and the kind of it takes a little bit of commitment. But I think that commitment about reading the Word and understanding it and having this relationship with the Word goes a long way. And the investment, I would say that the return on the investment is huge. Right. It's huge to talk about, in economic terms. And I think what you have put across, even though we hear it every week, what's your relationship with God? What's your state of your soul? We hear it, but I think it is so much even more illuminating and real now.
Yes.
Because of what's happening. And like what you're saying, God has used this situation for us to check ourselves. What state are you at right now?
Yes.
When you're, a lot of people, for example, during the lockdown, I would always go back to the lockdown. When 2/3 of the world's population was locked down. I mean, this is
Groundbreaking.
phenomenal. And what does it tell you as a human being when you look back? In some countries there's a second or third lockdown now, right? Look at Europe, and they just closed the borders a couple of days ago, and they're having a second wave because it kind of spiked again because of the fall and all, But I'm just looking at, have you visited the first lockdown? Have you grown your soul? Have you deepened your soul when the world shut down 2/3 of the world and all 90% of the planes were not flying? The planes were just being parked somewhere. I mean, it's such a huge phenomenon. And for me to be able to talk to you right now, and to me and you communicating about this topic, and to be putting out there into the internet world for the time of immortality. I mean, it would not have happened because when it didn't have a pandemic, right? God has used a situation for people to really check themselves. Like I really like the verse. What verse is that to say that you could go to the city to say that you plan to do this and to do that, to do this for today and tomorrow, and to buy and
the
sell.
Gospels. I can't remember where.
Yeah.
I know Jesus said it, but I can't remember which gospel.
Yeah, which I would have to search it. I guess it's something that I read and it kind of like imprinted so strong in me. That you could plan. Like it's like I was reading it and God is just telling me like, come on, Vicky, you can plan. You can plan what you want.
And then he says, you don't even know
you're gonna live tomorrow.
Yep.
You don't even know you're gonna live tomorrow. So the first thing, you come to your knees and you ask God to give you life. It's like, oh my God, it's like, this just hits me between my eyes. So I really thought that if people have not checked themselves, I mean, because we're having this conversation, which is a chat, is a conversation, but the topic is serious because we're in a history in time. I mean, people who are just tuning in either to the podcast or to the YouTube. I think the first lockdown, when the world shut down, when 90% of the planes were stopped or parked somewhere, when governments were just giving out money for bailout, and they're saying that we're going to go bankrupt because of this, and people were just staying home from work. And the world has the same policy. Can you imagine that? And the world was saying that stay home. And the world is just saying that stop the schools and bring your home back. And I don't care. I mean, the streets are going to shut. The police are going to come out, no matter where you are. And the animals came out, right? But can you imagine that kind of phenomenon whereby, I would see it as, if you hadn't had the chance to really use that time to evaluate your soul and your life and your priority, I mean, God is going to give us a smack in the face. It's like, I give you the chance. Come on. I shut the whole world. You've got no excuse. It's just me and you. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm just thinking, have the world woken up? In some countries, we're looking at the second lockdown. And I think today, Britain is going to have a lockdown, the whole country today, because yesterday was the final day. So we're going to see what's going to happen soon in this winter, in this fall. And thank you so much, Pastor Stephen, for coming onto the house of Talk About Life. We should be talking about faith. And I would like to invite you again, if you ever have the time, to come back to this virtual meeting or conversation with myself, with the world, to broadcast some of your thoughts, some of your messages that you share with the congregation, to share with myself and to share with the world. I hope we can come back again sometime. Stephen, what do you think?
Anytime. And if you don't mind, if anybody wants to, would like to hear any more, I have a podcast. It's me and two other guys. It's called The Caffeinated Christian. Caffeine as in coffee. So the Caffeinated Christian. Yeah.
Without the caffeine.
Yeah,
yes,
like
I've noticed that. Yeah. Just like the wine without the alcohol. Yeah.
And
good.
My sermons are on.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to thank everyone who's tuning in, either in 2020 or in 2021, 2022. I just want to wish everyone well, and I want to thank Pastor Stephen for spending the past 1 hour with us here on the internet. And surely it's going to go to the audience of Singapore. Slowly it's going to go out. And I would like to invite you sincerely sometime again. Thank you once again. Stephen, is there something you want to say goodbye for the time being? So long?
Yeah, I mean, everybody go in peace and just look to Jesus, and thank you, Vicky.
I think your word have encouraged me, have put it in a perspective again. Sometimes even though we are followers of Christ, we read the word a lot. Sometimes we need a reminder. As an essential worker for God like yourself, your job is made even more important now. So I hope that you can even use my platform to reach out to more people in Asia. I send my videos to my friends in Europe, and they watch a lot of my videos. It doesn't go massive because it's just a niche group of people. Because we're not. I'm not going for masses, but I'm really going for equality. Like, who will really watch this and listen to this and get a message? Just even if it's one word, one sentence out of this, it's going to be huge for me, for us, for our job. So thank you once again. Is there something you want to say goodbye? That's it?
That's it. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Okay. Thank you once again. So I'm going to end the video here and the podcast here, but it doesn't end our conversation. In my video, I'm going to put your link of your church and your sermon in the description below in the YouTube, so that people can visit your website. Go on that.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm going to be sharing your video here, so once this is out, so that people can find your channel.
Yeah, that would be nice too. So I want to thank you once again, and what I'm going to do is that I really am going to invite you again, if it's not too much for you.
Anytime you want me to, I'd be happy to.
Yeah, I think the last week of November is good because I'm kind of fully booked. My schedule is full. And I want to get as much people's responses as possible, but I know the word and the message from a follower of Christ is very important. And I want to give priority and a rightful place, I should say, for someone like you to share your message for people like us,
Yeah.
Thank you
Great.
so much.
Yeah, anytime. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm going to put this inside my YouTube channel, and I'm going to put in your link of your church, and also a little bit of your profile from your Facebook. I'm going to cut and copy and paste into the profile to reach to a different target group of audience for you.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So you take care and stay safe.
You too. Lord's peace. Good talking to you.
Yeah, nice.